I didn't grow up loving Lilo and Stitch. Okay, before you kill me, I'm just gonna come out and say it. I don't hate this movie. I don't even dislike it. All I ask is for your patience and generosity to just hear me out.
Burn him!
Alright, so Lilo and Stitch was directed by Chris Sanders and Dean DeBlois? I'm not sure. Chris Sanders originally came up with the concept of Stitch as part of an abandoned idea for a children's picture book in the mid-80s, but the idea lay dormant until Sanders pitched the idea again when he started working at Disney in the 90s. Disney loved the idea and Sanders' unique art style, and so Lilo and Stitch was born. A touching story about a girl and her, alien dog. Released in the UK in October 2002, the movie opened at the top of the box office and grossed a massive $12.9 million overall, making it easily the most successful 2D animated Disney movie of the early 2000s. The character of Stitch in particular became a huge success, spawning all kinds of toys, games, clothes, merch, you get the idea. Stitch almost became a mascot for this time period of Disney, and the original movie is still fondly remembered by all those early 2000s kids who grew up with it. And I never saw it. Nope, even though the hype was everywhere, with the trailers constantly being shown on every Disney VHS tape of the time, I didn't see it, I didn't watch it, and to be completely honest, I was never that drawn towards it. Alright, I did kind of like the original trailers, which showed Stitch breaking into other movies and messing things up for some classic Disney characters, like busting the chandelier in Beauty and the Beast.
I'll be in my room. Get your own movie.
Or sending a tidal wave crashing over the Little Mermaid.
I was singing here.
That was a pretty cool idea. I also remember playing the video game on the PS1 over my cousin's house once, which was fun at the time, but now, well, just wait for the review of that someday. But apart from that, I never crossed paths with Lilo and Stitch. The years went on, and I just never saw the movie. I don't really have any nostalgia for it, apart from, ooh, I remember seeing that trailer 1,000 times. So sadly, I can never look at this movie from a childhood perspective, but since my mental age is still trapped in that time, I guess it doesn't really matter, so let's take a look at it right now. Thinking about those trailers, it made Stitch look like the next big edgy thing to come from Disney. At the time, I actually thought Stitch was going to be some kind of planet-hopping, galaxy-conquering villain, causing trouble all over the cosmos. Maybe a quirky Disney movie all about the bad guy, like The Emperor's New Groove, only 10 times crazier. But is that what we got? Let's just watch the movie. You know, I'm liking all these logo variations. We were getting so playful in the early 2000s. So we begin in the middle of an episode of Buzz Lightyear of Star Command, where a group of aliens are holding an intergalactic trial for a mad scientist called Jumba, who is accused of creating horrific genetic experiments. Are you sure I didn't put in the wrong movie?
How do you plead?
Not guilty. My experiments are only theoretical.
Jumba's latest creation is Experiment 626, voiced by co-director Chris Sanders. And you really have to wonder when he figured out he could do that weird voice. 626 is a crazy, out-of-control creature who just can't seem to mind his manners, and he ends up getting sentenced to exile. Frankly, he got off lightly here. There are certain other animal groups who would have dished out a far worse punishment than this.
Uncomfortable? Oh, good.
But no prison cell in the galaxy can hold 626, and he escapes, fleeing through the space station while the guards try to pump him full of toothpaste. It's interesting that this very short section of the movie ended up getting turned into a video game for the PS2 called, oddly enough, Experiment 626, where you get to play as Stitch and blast your way across space with all kinds of crazy gadgets. You ever play Ratchet and Clank? Never mind.
He's taken a police cruiser.
Yeah, he took the red one.
626 steals a ship and crash lands on planet Earth, right smack bang in the middle of one of Hawaii's islands. So for an alien who knows nothing about us, he sure knows how to pick a good vacation spot.
How much time do we have?
We have projected his landing at 3 hours, 42 minutes.
The aliens are confused on how to get 626 back without us humans realizing, but an alien called Pleakley is a so-called expert on Earth and volunteers to get 626 back before anyone finds out.
Earth is a protected wildlife reserve? Yeah, we've been using it to rebuild the mosquito population, which, need I remind you, is an endangered species!
Why do I feel like this guy is a distant cousin of Mike from Monsters, Inc.? But Pleakley needs help in tracking 626 down and seeks the help of his creator Jumba in exchange for his freedom from a lifetime of prison.
We are willing to trade your freedom for his capture.
This is feeling less like a Disney movie and more like some kind of bizarre sci-fi legal drama. Better Call Stitch. So 10 minutes in, we finally get the credits, which is quite strange for a Disney movie in this period. Normally, aside from the title, these movies never had any credits until the end. I do love this one though, based on an idea. Yeah, not a script or a story treatment or anything, just, you know, an idea. Something I thought about once. It's here we get to meet Lilo, a little girl voiced by Devay Chase, who loves swimming, dancing, and being a bit, quirky.
I'm late because I had to go to the store and get peanut butter because all we have is stinking tuna!
Lilo.
If I gave Pudge tuna, I'd be an abomination! Pudge controls the weather.
She's quite amusing, but unfortunately, some of the other kids at the dance class don't quite see it that way.
You're crazy.
Whoa, this girl's a wild animal! She didn't even hesitate. She just flipped out into full psycho mode. What, was she getting combat lessons from Princess Kida? Lilo gets kicked out of her dance class for fighting, but she tries to make it up to the other girls by showing them her creepy voodoo doll. It goes down about as well as you'd expect.
I made her, but her head is too big. So I pretend the bug laid eggs in her ears. And she's upset because she only has a few more days to...
But I like how she throws the doll away in a fit of rage, and then comes back for it. Ah, subtlety. It turns out that Lilo lives with her older sister Nani, voiced by Tia Carrera, who's taking care of Lilo after their parents died in an accident.
Open the door, Lilo!
Go away.
But Lilo is more than a bit depressed about what happened during her class, and lies on the floor listening to old Elvis Presley records. You know, like we all did when we were 6. Come on, Disney, this is the early 2000s. Why don't you update the music to make it all hip and trendy, yo? Nani tries to get through to Lilo, but she's having none of it.
Leave me alone to die.
Okay, when your child says that to you, it's time to call the therapist. Well, there's no therapy, but a man mounted from Child Services arrives called Cobra Bubbles, voiced by the super cool Ving Rhames.
Are you going to invite me in?
I thought we could sit out here and talk.
I don't think so.
Please don't hurt me. He wants to make sure Nani is doing a good job taking care of Lilo. Spoiler alert, she isn't.
She disciplines me real good. Sometimes 5 times a day.
If Nani doesn't wise up, Bubbles warns her that Lilo could be taken away from her. She handles it quite well. Also, it's interesting to note that when Nani goes searching for Lilo, the scene was actually edited for the UK version. In the original version, Lilo is hiding inside a washing machine, but in the UK version, it's more like a pizza box. You see, over here, kids hiding inside a washing machine is a big no-no, because... well, I'll let my resident expert explain.
Every year, some ignorant kid takes a ride in a clothes dryer just like this one. And those dryer fins can break your bones when they get going. If you think it's smart to climb in a dryer, you're really all wet.
Thanks, Professor. So if they kept this scene the original way, that would have meant this movie received a big fat 12 rating, which is just plain weird. I mean, imagine seeing that on the cover. It just feels wrong. So they edited the scene, and the movie remained a family-friendly U, technically making this the super dark, edgy version for over 12s only. No, kids, look away!
Lilo! Do you not understand? Do you want to be taken away? Answer me!
No!
It's quite refreshing to see a Disney movie with a slightly different dynamic, with the older sibling taking on the parental role. I mean, when was the last time you ever heard Child Services being mentioned in a Disney film?
I'm already in my room!
It's a good twist on the usual Disney formula of killing off the parents, and both Lilo and Nani get a lot of solid development. You can tell how hard Nani is trying to fill that parental role, but it's a bit ambiguous whether she's spread too thin, or if Lilo is just a very difficult girl to raise, which is understandable given that she's lost both her parents at quite a young age, so you can't really blame either of them for the strain it puts on their relationship. There's a lot of complexity going on here, and I approve.
We're a broken family, aren't we?
No. Maybe a little.
Meanwhile, 626's Hawaiian vacation takes a bit of a bad turn when he gets hit by a truck.
Stay jammed under the fender. We better call somebody.
Yeah, don't call anyone specific, just somebody. 626 gets brought to the local animal shelter, and it just so happens that Lilo is there too, as Nani wants to make it up to her by getting her a new pet. How dramatically convenient.
Go. Pick someone out.
626 gets a new facelift and disguises himself as a dog so Lilo will take him away.
Oh, how?
Wow.
Lucky for 626, Lilo loves him and renames him Stitch. Bet you didn't see that coming.
I want to buy him. Can I borrow $2?
Wow, I used to do that when I was a kid too. That's really weird. Also, this is a bit random, but why are all the TVs showing live-action movies? Does that mean in Cartoon Land this is their equivalent of animation? I really do hate my brain sometimes. Lilo tries to bond with Stitch by showing him off to the school bullies, who show nothing but respect and tolerance.
I got a new dog. His name is Stitch. That is the ugliest thing I have ever saw. Yeah!
This really is like being back in school. So like any good pet movie, we get a montage of Lilo and Stitch as she tries to teach her new dog how to behave, but Stitch just can't seem to control his impulses. To be honest though, he seems kind of tame. I mean, he's mischievous, yeah, but not exactly the planet-crushing anarchist the trailers would have led you to believe. It's just all very sweet and amusing.
Yum! Hey!
While Nani works a late shift at a local cafe, she gets chatty with a surfer guy called David, who's like totally bodacious, dude.
Listen, I was wondering, if you're not doing anything this...
David, I told you I can't. Maybe some other time, okay?
Don't worry. She likes her butt and fancy hair. I know. I read her diary.
But things go a bit south when Jumper and Pleakley try to lure Stitch into a trap, only for Nani to catch them in the act.
Go about your business, I'm okay!
Your head looks swollen.
Actually, she's just ugly.
What, she can't tell when two badly dressed aliens are standing right in front of her?
This is not working out.
Nani gets fired for causing a ruckus, and Stitch keeps causing more trouble, so Nani tries to take him back, but Lilo stops her by reminding her about the importance of family.
Dad said Ohana means family. Family means
Nobody gets left behind.
And that's a storytelling wildcard you just can't beat.
I hate it when you use Ohana against me.
And you know what else you can't beat? Promoting more Elvis on the soundtrack.
We can go on together with suspicious minds.
This feels a bit strange to me. In the movie, they used the song Suspicious Minds for this gag, but in the trailers, it was always Hound Dog.
You ain't nothing but a hound dog.
The Mandela effect is off the scale here. Cobra Bubbles arrives for another inspection and tells Nani she has to get a new job. While Nani goes job hunting, Lilo tries to train Stitch to be a better dog. And by the time you put him in a little Elvis outfit, you just know Disney had a great mascot on their hands here. I almost wonder if that's why Stitch doesn't really do anything that bad. I mean, he scares people away, but if he went too far, people would stop finding him cute, even though he's meant to be some kind of genetically bred killing machine, but I digress. Even though Nani struggles with finding a job, David tries to cheer her up by taking everyone surfing.
I surf till the sun sets beyond the horizon.
It's like rad, dude. No, seriously, the soundtrack is like chill, yo. I'm totally serious. It's awesome. No joke. Why am I even still talking in this voice? Aw, man.
626 is returning willingly to water.
Stitch finally seems to be bonding with Lilo, but when Jumper tries to capture him again, Lilo almost drowns, and Cobra Bubbles ends up seeing everything.
I know you're trying, Nani, but you need to think about what's best for Lilo.
This guy has a knack for turning up at the worst possible moment, doesn't he? Even worse, since Jumper and Pleakley have failed to capture Stitch on time, the Galactic Forces decide to send in a big brute called Captain Gantu to seize him instead.
How soon will you be prepared to leave?
Immediately.
Voiced by Kevin Michael Richardson, so that's how you know he's the bad guy.
Ohana means family. Nobody gets left behind. But if you want to leave, you can.
Since Stitch is the cause of so much trouble for Lilo and Nani, he leaves them behind and strikes out on his own, only to get caught again by Jumper and Pleakley.
You're built to destroy. You can never belong.
Anyone would be blessed to have him as their creator. Meanwhile, Nani has to try and tell Lilo that she might get taken away herself, and I like how much of a struggle it is for her to explain things.
Sometimes things have to change. And maybe sometimes they're for the better.
She might just be the unsung hero of this movie, but when David reveals that he might have found Nani a new job, she has to leave Lilo home alone, which is exactly when the aliens arrive to absolutely trash the place.
I'll make you taller and not so fluffy.
I like fluffy! No!
Probably the only time you'd be praying for the wet bandits to turn up instead. Stitch tries to fight off the aliens, while Lilo calls Cobra Bubbles and pretty much just admits everything.
Aliens are attacking my house.
I mean, what else would you say in that situation? The house gets blown up, and Cobra Bubbles arrives to take Lilo away.
She don't know what you're doing. She needs me.
Is this what she needs?
but Lilo escapes and blames Stitch for everything, causing him to reveal that he's actually an alien in disguise.
You're one of them? Get out of here, Stitch.
Captain Gantu shows up and locks up Lilo and Stitch, much to his enjoyment.
Look, I even got you a little snack.
What a creep. But Stitch breaks out, and Nani has to beat the information out of him.
Talk! I know you can.
Okay.
I like this girl, and now that Stitch can talk freely, he admits how much Lilo and the family mean to him.
Family means nobody
gets left behind.
So they all team up to rescue Lilo by using Stitch's ship to chase after Captain Gantu. Now, if you really want to talk censorship, this is another scene that was changed before the movie came out, because in the original version of the movie, Stitch was supposed to steal a jet plane and fly it through a bunch of skyscrapers. Yeah, I can see why they changed it. Instead, it's more of a chase over the island, and when Stitch tries to jump onto Captain Gantu's ship, he ends up crashing back down to Earth, so he steals a truck and blasts his way back up into the air, leading to perhaps the most brutal one-liner ever delivered by a movie hero.
You're vile, you're foul, you're flawed!
Oh, so cute and fluffy!
Captain Gantu gets tossed away, and Stitch saves Lilo before everything goes kaboom. Unlike the last movie though, no villain deaths in this one. Now, this is one of those movies where everything is just kind of okay. It's all very friendly.
Can you give us a ride to shore?
Sure, but I have to make 2 trips.
The Galactic Forces arrive to take Stitch back to space, but since Stitch has found a new family, they decide to let him stay on Earth.
This is my family. I found it all on my own.
Well, that and the fact that Lilo technically owns Stitch because she handed over the money, and yeah, galactic law is really confusing.
This creature has been sentenced to life in exile here on Earth.
Also, it turns out that Cobra Bubbles is actually a secret agent in disguise.
You look familiar.
CIA, Roswell, 1973.
Yeah, just cue the music. So the aliens leave Earth behind, Lilo and Stitch are together again, and everyone is one big happy family. Time for another Elvis cover on the soundtrack to see us out. This is another thing that's different in the UK version. During the credits, we got an exclusive cover of Suspicious Minds over here, sung by Gareth Gates. The music video even appears at the end of the VHS.
We can go on together with suspicious minds.
Now, who's Gareth Gates, I hear you ask? Well, he came second on a talent show in the early 2000s called Pop Idol, but now it's just a massive obscurity that barely anyone remembers. Isn't it amazing how some things just tumble away into the rubbish bin of history?
Ladies and gentlemen, Gareth has left the building.
So that was Lilo and Stitch, and yeah, it's a solid movie. As always, the animation is gorgeous, the soundtrack is very chill, and generally this is quite a laid-back kind of movie overall, so I can see why a lot of people have that childhood nostalgia for it. For me, I definitely enjoy the Lilo side of things more than the Stitch side. I think the dynamic she has with Nani is really well done, and not something you see too often in a Disney movie, so they did a great job of making it feel genuine. As for the Stitch stuff, it's fine, but part of me wishes that maybe they made Stitch a bit more evil? I mean, I suppose there's only so far you can take the idea, but Stitch never feels quite as dangerous as he could be. He's supposed to be a genetically bred monster, but throughout the movie, he does end up feeling a bit like a misbehaving dog more than anything else. Again, I suspect they were just trying to make Stitch as cute as possible so they could sell all that mascot merch, but that's just my cynical side gnawing at my leg. I don't really have any big complaints with this one, it's just pleasant. Overall, Lilo and Stitch is sweet, it's charming, and it has a lot of heart. If you've never seen it before, then go check it off your list, you won't be disappointed. But for most people, this is one they've probably already watched a million times, with the movie being so big it spawned endless direct-to-video sequels like Stitch the Movie, Stitch Has a Glitch, and my personal favourite, Leroy and Stitch. What, did Lilo quit acting or something? There was even a TV show on the Disney Channel where Lilo and Stitch had to track down Jumbo's other 625 missing experiments. but it only ran for 65 episodes. What gives? There should be 625 episodes, right? Finish the show! And just to cap things off, the show even had a crossover with Recess. Oh great, 2 things people love that I missed out on as a kid. That's just perfect.
Stitch and I are really gonna miss you guys.
Hey, why don't you come back with us?
Sorry. We've got a kitchen to go clean up.
Actually, this whole idea is just disturbing to me. It's like breaking the laws of animation or something. Well, that's all the Lilo and Stitch I can handle for one day. But as much as this is some people's absolute favourite Disney movie of this era, my personal favourite was something else. Something less successful. Something more obscure. Oh yeah, I'm one of those people. So join me next time as we take off into the galaxy and set sail for the loot of 1,000 worlds.
Treasure Planet.
Akatiki Baba. Gaba Ikatasupa. Ucha.